Okay, let's look at number 13. 13 says solve the absolute value equations. For each equation, find the sum of S of the solutions. Alright, so how do we do the absolute value? The first move is always, of course, to get the absolute value by itself. In general, whenever you're given a problem that asks you to solve for a function, you try to get the function as much as possible by itself. Once I'm here, absolute value essentially branches off into two components, the positive version and the negative version. So we solve, and the nice thing is that both of these kind of solve out the same way. You add 3 to both sides, you add 3 to both sides, obviously the answers are going to be different, and divide through by 8, so x is 9/8, same thing here, divide through by 8, x is negative 3/8. Okay, alright. And there you have it. Now it says what's the sum of the solutions. So if you read the packet, it actually says to find the sum. So that means you're going to add them together. And so this gives me 6/8, which reduces to 3/4. Okay. And part B, if you see it in this format, it's still the same thing. You just say 5x plus 4 equals x plus 9, and then you make one of them negative. So 5x plus 4 equals negative x plus 9, and solve. So we're going to combine like terms. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and put our x's together. 5x minus x is 4x, which is 5, so x is 5/4. Over here, there's a little bit more work here. We've got to distribute the negative first. So we get 5x plus 4 equals negative x minus 9. And then we're going to, I'm going to put my x's together. It doesn't matter whether you put your numbers first or your x's first. I kind of haphazardly decide what I want to do, depending on how I'm feeling at that moment. And so x becomes negative 13/6. And those are my two solutions. Now, this is saying you want to add, so you just got to remember that when the sum of your solutions means that you have to find a common denominator. So we're going to multiply 12 to the common denominator here. So 3 and 3, 2 and 2. So this is 15 minus 26/12, which becomes negative 11/12. By the way, to find common denominators, all I did is I just took 6 and said, so let me show you how to find the common denominator. Okay, so all I did was I took 6 and I said, what are the multiples of 6? And I just wrote some out and then I said, well, which one is going to work with 4? You can't divide 6 by 4, but you can divide 12 by 4, so that's the common one. If you're lazy, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but if you want to, you can just do 6 times 4 is 24 and use that. So 6 and 6 and 4 and 4, and then you would just have to reduce. In any case, the sum of the solutions gives me negative 11/12. So hopefully that makes sense. Really, all you got to remember is that whether it's written like this or like this, you get the absolute value by itself, you do the positive, and you do the negative case. And I did the same thing here. Did the positive, and then the negative case. So, hope that makes sense. See you in the next video.